Hello, I am Sensei Kevlar. In the last dojo, we were looking at how we could use dollar cost averaging to create opportunities for ourselves in these markets. These markets do reliable things like rise and fall. And the idea was to very specifically make a plan. And today I wanted to start off by focusing on how to actually make that plan, what that plan looks like, how to do it. Here's how it starts. What we're going to do is we're going to do our analysis based upon our support and resistance lines. By now, this should be secondhand to you. This should be easily correlated with past events, where you can come in here and find places where these were respected and even color them differently if you know that this one is better correlated and this one is better correlated, and these are really the strong lines right here and definitely down here. Okay. Then in the future, that these are highly correlated signals. Now, does this mean that this is going to go up to here and then down to here? No, doesn't mean anything. It just means that bots are going to be activating at these levels, and it turns out that they do. And it turns out that they do. We can already see the correction on the line. This line was predicted. Very heavily correlated lines. Okay. So an opportunity to buy right here would have already rewarded us. If we had put our money into the market, if we had been dollar cost averaging, this approaches the halfway mark, which means a 3x would have put us in profit in accordance with our plan. So let's say that it was Monday. Let's say that, we're here, right? And the market is falling out on us, right? What is the plan we could have made? Well, we could have come back here and we could have seen that this level is a highly correlated level. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually make the plan. I'm just going to fire up old Notepad here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, first of all, in order to make my numbers easy, there's a trick that you need to learn and use. In order to make my numbers easy, I'm going to say one position is equal to 0.001 because we're trading in Bitcoin. Okay, so 0.001 BTC. Okay, or at 0.01 BTC. Let's do that, right? And what we want to do is we want to start with a really small single position, and what we want to do is we want to buy at the current place, 0.030667. Okay, and we do one position, and so now our dollar cost average on this is 0.003. Let's get the point in there, 0.030667. Okay, and what I want to do is I say at the 0.0029, the 0.002900, I want to buy 3. Okay, so what do? I come over here and I say calculator. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy one position at this price point. I'm going to buy 3 positions at this price point. Let's do the math on that. 0.03067 plus 0.02999 plus 0.00299 plus 0.00299. That's our equation from our plan. And what we want to do is we want to divide that by the number of positions, 4 positions. Okay, we now have our dollar cost average, right? get that result right there. There we go. Okay. That is our dollar cost average, 0.0099. Look at where 0.00... I must have messed up the math on that somewhere. Oh yeah, I copied some... This was not 0. Let's redo the math on that real quick. 0.0 30,667 plus 0. I failed to cancel things out properly. 0.030667 plus 0.02999 plus 0.02999 plus 0.02999. Okay. Then we take that and we divide it by 4. We get that number. This is our new dollar cost average. 0.01. 0.01 is right here. So what we're looking for is, no, I'm sorry, 0.01 is down here, right here, just above 0.00. So let's draw that line, figure out where our profit is. Oops. Horizontal line. No, come on. Horizontal line, 0.0. There it is, right there. Okay. We'll color that differently to show that this is our beautiful profit line. And we'll see if we can make money just off of that move, or if we need to. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to have bought this during the day, gotten that price on it. Then we're going to go ahead and on that same day, we're going to go ahead and put that order into the market. We're going to do it as a limit order, and we're going to say, go ahead and buy that amount at that price down here. What we're going to do is we're then going to check, hey, did that actually make us money? Well, sure enough, that limit order came down, and it gave us the money right here, gave us the order right here, okay? We're still waiting to make money on it. Could we have done that differently in order to make that do that? What we want to do is we want to check this, okay? But this is a painful process. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. Nobody in their right mind would sit here and do this calculation over and over, right? If they were smart, what they might do is they might do something like this. They might come over here and say, well, the pain I'm feeling, it's telling me that change is required. What I clearly need to do is I clearly need to come over here and make a new spreadsheet. And if I make a new spreadsheet, I can come in here and I can put these values in here. Here is my first number. It was 0.03. Here's my second number. Here it was 0.026. Okay. In order to find out, I'm saying 1 and 3 positions. Okay. In order to find out what the average is, I could say, what the cost is. I could say sum of, no, I want to say A1 times B2. Okay. No, not B2, B1. There we go. Okay. This is A2 times B2. This gives me the cost of each position. Okay. Then what I want to do is I want to take the, I think I'm buying 3 here, right? If I want to see how much I'm buying, what I can do is I can make my sum, right? I can say this is the sum of C1 to C5 all the way down. And I can start filling in my values, okay? This is my total. And this is starting to look like a much better system already. What we have here is we have the math, which is really repetitive, being done for us. But it's important that you understand what these equations are and where they're coming from, why we got them and how we got them, and how they apply to your money. Because what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to figure out what the next level is. What is the next level? You know, well, we could look at this right here, definitely the 0.027. We could look at this right here. The 0.027 is probably highly correlated. If you look at that right there, there's 0.027 again. Came back down and touched that right there on that day. This is definitely some form of correlation I would look for. So depending upon what your plan is, depending upon what your risk is, depending upon how you actually believe the market is going to go, you might make your plan differently, and you might test your plan differently. You might test it with different values right here. You might test it with, let's take a look at the, where'd it go? There it is. You know, with 5 and figure out how much that actually puts you in. And you see what happens is right away, we were talking about a very, very small position and already we're buying a lot. And especially if you do something like right here, where you now say 0.0 and then come over here and get the number again, 24. And now you're now buying 25 positions. And that is A3 times B3. Okay. Now look at how much you're actually in. Right? And what you can do is you can start to figure out what your dollar cost average is simply by creating the sum over this, right? By adding this, by dividing this by the sum of these. So let's get the sum of these, right? We'll say B1, the sum of B1 to B5. And then we'll say that our dollar cost average is C7 divided by D7. Okay, we now know that 0.0245 is our new profit line when we get down to here and we do the 25, right? 0.0245 right here. This is our new profit line. Okay. $245 right there. That's our new profit line if we come down here and we buy this and we buy this. So we can actually compute ahead of time what our profit will be. Okay. Where's our profit? Well, it's somewhere above this blue line. This is knowable. If it goes up to here at any point, then we make this much money. Well, how much is this much money? Well, this is, if I can get the thing to stop. What am I doing wrong? There we go. This is, 3.5%, 4% right here, 5% that you can get off of this. Yeah, this is 5% if you go up to here, right? So you can compute your profit. You can actually figure out how much it is you're going to make on any given trade, given a proper plan. So this plan forms the backbone of everything that we do. And what we want to do is we want to come in here, like I said on the initial day, and we want to create optimizations for this. Because the initial strategy has us buying every time we see support and resistance. What we want to do is we want to optimize for not buying every support and resistance. We want to buy only the support and resistances that are correlated with a certain amount of correlation. I want to stop and address a question here. If I multiply my first position by 5, can I multiply the second and third by anything lower? 3x, or does it have to be only higher? Oh, you can absolutely multiply it by lower. You can do anything. You can do any... And see, this becomes another variable, right? Say you want a 5x up here, and then 3x up here. There's no problem with that. All that you're doing is you're moving where your profit line is, right? You're moving your DCA, right? You're moving this, which then moves how much you're making. Does that make sense, Perk? I want to make sure that, I make that clear, because I just made the assumption here that this is going to be 5 and this is going to be 5, right? This doesn't have to be 5. This can be 20. This can be anything, and the math comes out differently as a result. So instead of 4.25, it comes out 4.26. So it moved, this up to 4.26, right? So where you're no longer, I'm sorry, not this one. That's our make money line. It moved it from 4.25 down here to 4.26 when I did 4x instead of 5x. And 3x would have moved it in a different way, right? So 5 times 3 is 15. And so now it moves it to 247. Yeah, 246 to 247, right? Yeah, 246 to 247. So it moved it. I'm sorry, 24 is down here. In fact, 246 to 247. So it moved it a little bit, right? It moved it a slight amount. And what you can do, and that's the whole point, is you want to come in here and you want to backtest. You want to create different strategies for different markets that have you profitable on any given time frame, right? And you want to make sure that when you trade that strategy, that eventually it does pay out, that you're trading on something that does go up, that you're trading enough to, even when it doesn't make the return against it, when it doesn't make the return to where you bought from, you still have a plan for profiting in place. And test that on paper using no money at all, okay? Then what you want to do is you want to correlate that signal. You want to back test it. You want to make that signal that you just created, that thing that's telling you now is the time to buy down here on this line, right? And the reason that you're doing that is because you've seen this line get tested before, and it bounced off of it, and now you're seeing it get tested again. Now, does this mean you're sure it's going to go up? No, there's no way. There's just no way. You need to have a plan in place for this. And it could do this. And that could be how you make your money, if you plan for it. Okay? So this is what I want you to do. Last time I had you making all these lines and everything, and I want you to do that, and I want you to do this. I want you to start creating your plans where you have, actual pieces of paper and you're trading on them. You're saying this is what would happen, and you can back test that simply by dragging the chart to the left. You can say, if I bought right here, would I be profitable, right? If I bought this line, and this line, and I made my DCA somewhere in here, would I be profitable? The answer is yes. Okay. You can make money in a downturning market. If you buy here, 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 and here, you can make money. Doesn't matter how far down the market goes. So long as you're planning to have money left over, and more importantly, you're not doing this with your whole portfolio. This is not, let's put all our eggs in one basket. What you want to do is you want to diversify. You want to do this across a bunch of different opportunities. If one market is not making you money, which, let's face it, this market isn't making you a lot of money, right? It's pretty much going sideways. if now is, your opportunity finally that you've been waiting for, because this thing's just sideways and it's boring, then go work another market. And you want to do this across 20 markets. You want to do this across 50 markets. You want to do this across as many markets as you can make the opportunities for. And you want to make sure that you always have enough money to buy another market. Because you never know when that market's going to come up. You never know when that opportunity is going to be, you're going to be able to create that opportunity for yourself. So you want to have planned ahead for how many opportunities you're going to buy into. You want to have known your allocation at the bottom for all of them by figuring them all out, by working through all the numbers. Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to optimize each of them individually. Make sure that the plan is as good as it gets, because we don't need to be buying every single line coming down. That's ridiculous. We can buy only the lines that are heavily correlated back in time, back here. We can buy the lines that only so we can say, we can start to count, this has been correlated 90% of the time or 80% of the time, right? And that's over a P sample of 10 or 2. And something with 10 is obviously better than something with 2, right? And what we can do is we can start building a scientific strategy that says, if this is true, then this is our buy point, and then we can, make that our thing. So what we can do is we can say, if we have enough signals telling us that it's time to do what it is that it's time to do, then we do it, and only on those conditions. Yeah, I've been showing how to calculate the DCA, right? I've done it a number of times in the calculator, and I've shown it right here. That's what this is. So if you go back in the video, you can see that. So what I'm saying is that in order to create more signals, what you want to do is you want to look for more indicators. More indicators that tell you it's time are a good thing, right? So let's take a look at some more indicators. We've been drawing some lines so far. Let's draw a different type of line. Let's draw a trend line. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a peak and we're going to touch it to a peak, and then we're just going to extend it. Okay. And we're just going to make sure that those two peaks touch, and then we're going to extend the line. Okay. And what can we say about the trend line formed by these two peaks? Is that in the future, that trend that was formed right here by this motion right here, that trend was respected. And every time it came time it came time, right? We're talking about over delta t. Every time delta t occurred, that trend was respected. And here delta t occurred, and that trend was respected. Okay? And here delta t occurred, and that trend was broken. And then what happened? So what happened after the trend was broken? The market went sideways. Now, can we correlate a signal like that? Absolutely. The correlation on something like that is easy to find. You simply go back and you look for a time at which a peak followed by touching a peak and then extending on into the future signaled a trend reversal. Okay, here's a peak, touching a peak, extending into the future. In the future, that trend was respected. Well, what happened when that trend, here we had a test of the trend line, and look at what happened. Look at how As soon as it broke the trend line, it made a return to it. Right at delta T, right at the crossing of that trend on that delta. Simply because I touched peak to peak and then projected it into the future. Okay? So, does this signal a trend reversal? Right? Does it give us a stronger buy signal when, once again, we come down here and take this opportunity, and then it comes up here and then it comes back down? Does this signal, look at this, does this signal a trend reversal? Right here, are we seeing signs of a trend reversal where once it was tested, twice it was tested, and then it took off? Right? Are we seeing a trend reversal here where once it went, where, now that it went above it, it'll never go below it again? Right? Where it comes back down and then bounces off? Could be. Certainly is one interpretation of that. And what you can do is you can go back and you can test that over and over and over again. And you can see if that's a highly correlated signal. And if that signal is correlated, then that can improve your signal. That can improve how much it is you're buying. That can be the thing that's determining this right here. Okay? Remember how we talked about the more you buy, the better your DCA is as you come on down? Well, if that's the second rule, right? If we're saying, number one, we only buy when we come down into here and hit the actual correlated resistance lines. And number two, we only buy, we buy 3x when it's not correlated with a trend reversal, and 5x when it is correlated with a trend reversal. Okay, then we can start to improve our strategy. Now, this does not override the need to plan and make sure that you have enough. Doesn't matter. And this is why we're doing it all on paper, because we don't need to find out that we don't have enough a little too late. That's not how it has to go down. You can find it all out on paper with no money at all. The time involved is the cost involved is your time. Sitting here and punching in the formulas to find the dollar cost average of your position in order to figure out if this would have made you money. Would this have made you money if you had bought into a bear market? My answer is yes. It would have made you money. Why? Because it then took off. So, if you're asking me, would this have made you money buying into a bear market? My answer is yes. If you had a plan. Okay? So, these broken trend lines make our plan better. And by making our plan better, we can make more money. And then how much you go back and actually test these signals, how much you go back and figure out what the correlations are, how you plan, and then make that your strategy and then execute on that strategy is what makes you the trader that you are. And that is what this is all about at the end of the day. Is about you becoming comfortable with yourself in terms of what it is you're doing in the market. Because what you're trying to get to is you're trying to get to the point where you already know what your dollar cost average is. Because you can see it in your mind. You can sit here and do the 044 and then the 032 and add them together and divide by 5 in your head. Why? Because you've done it in here over and over and over again. And just like you're ready to move on when you can from drawing lines, when you can see the correlation between this and this and this without clicking the mouse, you're ready to move on from doing this planning when you can see the dollar cost average in your mind. You can do it right here in the chart just by looking at the chart. You can see the broken trend because you've drawn this line from tip to tip over and over again, and you can see the trend was broken. This is just about, wax on, wax off. This is just about practicing. This is about building the muscle memory until it's ingrained in your head and it's perfect. Until you are the dollar cost average. Until everything that you do adds up. Right here in a spreadsheet until you don't need the spreadsheet. Every line correlates until you don't need the line. Every aspect of this needs to be automatic to the point where you don't need any of your tools, where you can literally open the chart, where you can literally know what the chart is doing without looking at the chart. That's how good, that's how automatic it needs to be. And I'll show you how to do that. It requires automation. It requires a keen, constant sense of awareness, and this is the role of automation. When I say automation, what I'm talking about is I'm talking about automating your knowledge, automating your understanding, automating information. Because there comes a point where this is ridiculous. If this is ridiculous, then equally this must be ridiculous. This is far removed from the actuality of making money. It's just typing numbers in a spreadsheet. And the point is not to type numbers in a spreadsheet. The point is to tattoo the formula into your head. So it is permanently ingrained there, and you see the numbers without running the spreadsheet. So what you need to do is you need to follow these trends. Go and look for them. Look for a time, okay, where does it work on the bottoms? Here's a bottom. We'll just take it up to, this is a bottom right here where it sort of turned around and came back, right? What we'll do is we'll just extend that into the future right there, right? And look at what happened, right? Is as long as this trend was respected, you could assuredly be selling or not selling until you see this moment. If you had bought down here, you could assuredly be not selling because